Hiya, how you doing? Jilly Bling here. I have a project using flowing flowers, and this is my next Gotta Have It box. So if you purchase this stamp set from me, I have 3 projects. I'd like to send you the supplies to make these cards. It's mostly just paper because you already have the stamp set. So here is the first one. Isn't that beautiful? This I saw on Pinterest. Lesley Stampin ground made something very similar to this. And I used different leaves and these new embellishments. I used those. I'll show you those in just a minute. And this paper is brand new too. It's the black and white paper in the new catalog. But it's a pretty simple card, which is nice. So, Flowing Flowers, Forever Fern. This stamp set, if you had any stamp set in the whole catalog, just by one set, I would suggest this one. It is just beautiful. The words are very nice. And these stamps come out, like look at this one, it comes out so realistic. I love this stamp set. So we'll be using Forever Flourish dies, and that's just to cut out this, this stamp. And then Hippo. I know this is retired just a few days ago, but I love this shape for the happy birthday words. But if you don't have this, you could use any shape that fits the happy birthday. That will be just fine. Okay, so here we go. These are glossy dots. And no, it's not 3D. That's just how they are. They've the image in there, I don't know what it is, but oh boy, that's fun. And they come in Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pool Party. And I was thinking at first, I pulled this out and I thought, well, Daffodil Delight, having a few of them just randomly around here. And I was going to use Daffodil Delight stamp pad for the center of the flower, but it just doesn't look very good. So scrap that. They became flower centers all on their own. And that looks, to me, that looks great. So we'll use these in just a minute. And the designer paper, here it is. This is the black and white paper. Don't you just want to color that? I know. The last project I did was a lot of coloring and fussy cutting, but even just as a background, just to apply just a hint of color and a few of the flowers. But here's the paper. I'll flip through it. I know that's a little crazy. The flowers, leaves. So it's like one side is more white background and the other side is more of a black background, which could be very fun. Dots, stripes. I mean, these are all basic. Ooh, look at these tulips. That's pretty. And then little flowers. See, there's not much to color in on those. Something good will come of it. I know. Well, here we go, today's project. Okay, so here's the papers. And I'll put all the paper cut sizes on my blog, and my blog is jillybling.com. It'll take, once I get through all 3 of these projects, and then I'll post all the information on one post. So it might take just a few days. We have company coming into town tomorrow, and I need to be a good daughter-in-law. And instead of being here stamping, I need to spend time with them. And next week is class week. So that's 3 days that there's no time for playing. Maybe that's why I'm on such a roll today. And then the other days are going to be with them. They'll be here for a week. Okay, so here we are at the start. This is that first page that was on top, the first paper. So to stamp the flower, I have a few hints on this. I'm going to use the Melon Mambo pad. And at first when I stamped it, and I know this is a brand new pad, it might just have too much ink on it, but it came out a little bit sloppy to me, and I didn't like that. So I tried stamping really light, stamping off a lot of ink. Still, see these heavy blotches? I didn't care for that. This one came out fine. That was my first one. I was like, that's a mess. And I tried it in a different color and it worked fine. So I know it's just a stamp pad. If I were to take a credit card, scrape a lot of the ink off, I'd probably get a great result. But I have an alternate way to do that. So if ever you have a stamp that's distinctive, and if it isn't behaving for you, you might try this instead. So here's my paper, Melon Mumbo. I'm going to use a dauber. So here's the stamp. And I'm just going to apply the ink that way. That way it's a really light coat of ink. And to me it looks a little better. I'm going to try to go heavy in the center because that has like the heavier part of the stamp. And I think with the dauber, no matter how much ink you apply, you'll get a good result. As long as you don't apply too little. But if you keep going over and over and over it, the dauber won't let you get too much ink on here. Okay, so I'm hoping that's okay. To me, that's just fine. There are a few of these little freckles, but I think that's just what the stamp does. And you know what? If ever in doubt, you can always... Yeah, theirs doesn't have any little dots, so maybe I need... Another thing is if ever you are getting like blobs in your stamp pad or when you stamp, you're like, what's going on? It might be because if you use a baby wipe to clean your stamps, many times you get lint on your stamp pad and it will create mysterious blobs. So I always keep one of these handy just in case. So you know I should try it one more time and see if it's a little bit more cooperative. And you can get these little things on Amazon. And you know what? That might have picked up a bit of the ink so I don't have to do the daubering, but I'm still going to dauber. Okay, let's try it one more time. Okay, dauber, stamp. Okay, let's see how it turns out. It turns out better. That was the problem all along. Yeah, it still has a few of those little... Let's see which side is better. Anyhow, if ever you have problems like that, you know an idea of where to start. So what I'm not liking is these heavy little spots. They're equal, both sides. Okay, so for this project, I am going to fussy cut the flower. And there it is. And let's do the leaves. So I'll do those in garden green or old olive. Here's the stamp. And I'm not so worried about getting the stem. I mostly want the greenery. Oop, I thought I stamped off the end. Isn't that beautiful? I love this stamp set. It is so realistic. And then there's dies. There's dies to cut it out. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's a good thing. What's your favorite stamp set? Forever Fern. That's my favorite one. Okay, so there's two of those here. So I'm going to use the die. Only one die for this project to cut it out. Okay, we're getting there. Now, how about the words? the words. Those are going to be in Melon Mambo. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! I love this font too. Isn't that nice? Okay, so I'm going to cut that out. Okay, 2 dies for this stamp set. So the die is still in here, and I'm going to do my little trick, which is, you could do it with most stamps. Where's that greenery? So on this die, see how there's a little bit of an edge, and then there's the cut line. If there's a little bit of an edge, oh, maybe I should try it on here. I won't. As with this one and with this one, turn it upside down, take your bone folder, just go along the inside edge, and what it does is it kind of creates a panel in there. And if it gets sloppy on the back side, that's okay. Somehow it doesn't matter. So I'll show you what I'm doing. When you look on here, can you see this little edge right here? That's what I'm creating right now. Otherwise it'd just be flat. Great shape, really cute. But sometimes we're fancy. And hey, if the die is gonna, oop, it fell out. If the die is gonna let us do that, might as well. If you have a stylus, like on your take your pick tool, there's a stylus, and I probably should be using that. I don't think I have it put in there. I have the picker-upper end, and then the other end I have is pokey, and then this end is spatula. My stylus is somewhere being busy. This is a good thing to have too. Okay, so look at the little panel, the little raised edge. Okay, thank you very much, die. Thank you. Okay, so the front, other than assembly and the little dots, is done, but the these dots, these little freckles, these also come in Forever Fern. It's right down here. So this set, Michaela said, hey, I need some help with the wedding, and she wants to make invitations, which is great. And I showed her that set, and she's like, ooh, that's pretty. So I probably shouldn't be using this right now. I don't know what's going on with my paper over here. I don't think that's my paper cutter, because I have a new one. But it's kind of all frayed. Can't have that. Look at all that. Okay. So, if you're saying, hey, you're doing the inside, I do have a plan. I'll show you in a minute. So stamp off, and then just put this a few places all over. Stamp off. And I bet you, now that I said stamp off, a few of you are going to forget to stamp off. I always do that. And if you do, it'll just be really dark. Still cute, but really dark. Okay, so the band is going to go over there. But I did the inside because look how almost perfect those are already all laid out. Don't want to disturb them. Okay. Time for assembly. Oh, I knew this messed up. When it messed up on the last video, I knew it did. See, it's not gripping. I should see if I have my Stampin' seal. I should use that anyhow. If it does it one more time, I'll use something different. Okay, that's good. Now the designer paper. Okay, so who plays Wordle? I got Tony hooked on it. Carol got me hooked on it. And I've done it every day. I think this is my 24th or 25th day in a row. And I've got all of them. Not the best odds. I think the average is 4 guesses. But it's a lot of fun. I don't know what got me thinking about that. Okay, so the words are going to be on dimensionals. Right in the middle, at the top, centered, like that. Okay, so putting the flower on, you notice how the leaves are going to tuck underneath? So I did this on the first one. Okay, where my thumb is, I'm not going to do dimensionals yet. And I'll put 3 of them over here. So I'm not putting them here, just so I have room to tuck the flower stems in. It's kind of nice to have a sample, then I know about where to put it. I'm going to put it a little closer this time over here. Kind of at an angle, because Mother Nature, flower gets heavy and it kind of leans over. Okay, and so now the leaves, I'm going to put glue on this half and dimensionals on the end, because that seems to be my trend lately. Ooh. Use the back of some paper. Oh, I know what this is. Terry and I were making a bridal cover page, and she was stamping off. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry. She found the cutest recipe book on Amazon. And she's like, okay, I want to make a cover page that everyone signs and writes a little something on. So we did it with Forever Fern. And then the cooking stamp set and dies, we stuck all kinds of tools into all these leaves and flowers. It turned out so cute. And then we used the cover of the cookbook was kind of freesia with succulent and evergreen, so we use those same colors. It turned out so cute. So cute, I'm thinking I should make a card with that. With those dies and the cooking and the flowers. Okay, that's inside. This goes on top. We're not quite done yet. That's kind of hanging out too much. I think it's still wet. Maybe I could get it and put it in there. Oh, I can't. A little bit further. I'm okay if it hangs out a little bit, but not too much. Okay, so now the flower is only half attached, which was planned so we could stick stuff in. But now it's time to really stick that flower down. So I'll take maybe 2 dimensionals and just stick them under there. Excuse me. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Because we're fancy like that. Fancy girls. Oop, I don't want that one seen. One more. And then the sparkle, the bling. Okay. So I think the big one is going to be too big. So I'm going to use 3. I'll use maybe 2 of the medium-sized ones and 1 of the little. Last time I did opposite. 2 little, 1 medium. Okay, cute. Isn't that cute? Okay, so for the inside, let's copy what I did over here. Oop. Well, I don't like how that's popped up a little. I kind of just bent it. So right there on the edge of the Melon Mambo. Jackie and Becky are saying hello. Okay, so this is good. So on here, let's stamp. There's cute words. What were the words? Time for a happy dance. That's cute. So that's going to go in Melon Mambo at the top, or wherever you want it. Okay, and a few flowers just at the bottom. So the dauber. And then we'll do some masking to get those leaves in there. Have you done masking before? Or are you saying, hey, how did you get the leaves behind the flower? It's magic. And we'll do the magic in just a minute. See, that one came out good. Okay, one more flower. Okay. And now we could do the dots. Boy, it's getting dark out there. It's a stormy day. So here's my mask. So I made this mask out of a sticky pad. This part up here is sticky. Well, we'll probably need another one. So I'm just going to stamp it. Yeah, there's probably enough ink on it. Maybe not. I'm going to full ink it up because it doesn't matter. This is just for protecting the card. Yeah, now you know why I've been daubering it. Okay, so stamped it on there, and I purposely did it up high in the sticky zone. And take this off, cut it all out so it looks like wherever my other mask is. I'm going to find it. There it is. Isn't that funny? How can it be? And yeah, a mess. Working in 6 inches of space. Anyhow, so now it's all cut out. This is where the sticky is. And I could have cut all the way down there, but I knew that most of the bottom would be hanging off. So it didn't matter. Put it right here, and then let's do some of the freckles. Stamp off. I don't know that I needed the mask for these, but that's okay. Okay, done with that. Now we'll do the leaves. When you look at the mask, you could say, yeah, it's needed. Because we don't need a big stem going through the center of the flower. So here's the... So where do I want it? How about kind of going up here on the side? I like to use a Post-it, because if you used cardstock, which probably would hold up a little bit longer than a Post-it, because this holds up only as long as it doesn't become saturated with ink. But cardstock is thicker than the Post-it, and see how I'm putting it right over the line outside image? I probably should drop it back just a little bit because the thickness of the paper doesn't let the leaf stamp get right up next to it, and that's just the thickness of the paper. So now that I dropped it back a little bit, I'll probably get some really good results here. See, I didn't want much room to write, other than, happy birthday, let's dance. Okay, let's see if that was, yeah, that turned out better. Okay, so this one, the sticky was so I could see the line, see the outline of the flower. And look how the leaf got right up next to it. Perfect. This one, I had the sticky right on top of the line image. And then see this little halo? And probably the recipient would have no idea. It would be just fine. But we know. Better that way. Okay. Save this. And, gosh, I think we're done other than assembly. Well, but it's doing it. Okay, those go inside here. See, so this card is, to me, I think it's pretty easy. It's because there's no coloring. There's just a little bit of fussy cutting for the flower and the flower only. That's it. Otherwise, it's easy. Okay, there it is. Flowing Flowers. Beautiful stamp set, especially when it's mixed with Forever Fern. Okay, give me a thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. Bye.